And anyway, so when we got here, Mark told me that it wasn't the Who, it was the High Numbers, which was the band that became the Who. Probably before, I don't know if Keith Moon was with them then.
No, Dougie Santon.
Sorry?
Sorry, Dougie Santon.
That's who played drums?
Yeah.
Dougie?
Santon.
Okay, yeah.
S-A-N-D-O-N.
It'll be down on the list.
Yeah, well, I'll introduce you to him on Wednesday.
All right, yeah. Well, I mean, I know those guys, they're great. You know, Pete and Roger have been friends for a while, and to play this place, can you imagine years back, that young band playing here? Man, I love this place. The atmosphere, the vibe, this is a great rock and roll room, so I'm really happy to be here. I love playing here. The sound is good on stage, so. And I'm gonna sing up. I live in New York, I've lived there for many years, and I wrote this tune about the city, and it's if you don't know anybody there, it's a little harder, to show up because it's so big and there's so much. But if you know somebody, and I'm there, so if you all come, if you're coming to New York, send me an email, get out, whatever. Say, well, I'm coming. You said, call you when I'm coming. Well, if I'm not kidding, it's not a big, it's a small, it's a family here, right? It's a private party, so I'm there. If I'm in town, Facebook me, whatever, and if I'm there, we'll go out for a drink.
Yes, he has a very large couch.
It's an extremely large couch. I love the city. I think I've been there on and off the last 37 years maybe, and I think I like it more now than I ever did. Good place for a writer. Some cities, London's one of those cities, of these big meccas, the Charles Dickens quality of things I saw immediately when I went to New York. And so I wrote this song called Streets of New York, and I'll sing it for you. It's my love song of the city. If you haven't been there, it's pretty interesting, and now you know someone who lives there in case you don't. So, as Frankie says, I have a very large couch. I don't take up a lot of space on it. Anyway, this is Streets of New York. The streets of New York, a maze made of iron and stone, a labyrinth complete with edges that cut through the bone. They come by the millions, the hipster, the prince, and the clown. They come 'cause they know that something's going down on the streets of New York. The streets of New York wind and turn in their own crooked way. A motherless child, so reckless at work and at play. Stillborn buildings abound, corporations of steel, long lines of the lost and found, all serve to reveal the streets of New York. The streets of New York, the faces only mothers could love. From rich boys in silk to panhandlers who can't get enough. Drifters ride on the subways, hustlers roam through the night. Tourists come back again and again until they get it right. On the streets of New York, the streets of New York unfold like a matchmaker's dream. Day becomes night through canyons of concrete and steam. Juliet on the rooftop, Romeo underground. the streets of New York. The streets of New York have places where two hearts can meet. The west side uptown, or down here on Rivington Street. Meet me tonight by the station. Meet me in Washington Square. We'll drink wine and dance on the moonlight, and I'll hold you in the air. On the streets of New